Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, never mind. Hey, it's time for another episode of Football Scientific with me, Aaron Sauter. I'm a writer for the UFL News Hub, the CFL News Hub. I cover the San Antonio Brahmas, the Hamilton Tigers, the IFL, the Indoor Football League, the NAL, the National Arena League, and the ELF, the European League of Football. Today, me and my co-host, Timmy, the Trash Talking Tiger Shark. What up, my peoples? Peeps. Let's call them peeps. 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 It's not Easter yet, man. We don't have any peeps. It's okay, Timmy. It's okay, Timmy. What are we talking about today, Timmy? Sorry, me and Corky were thinking about a theme song for Football Scientific. That's cool. Is that what you're doing? Like you're playing with your puppet. Were you playing with your puppet? No, I was working with a coworker trying to figure out our theme song, Timmy. Okay, let's imagine that's true. Okay. All right, so Timmy, what's the plan for today? First, we're gonna see how badly you did. How badly I did. I thought we did the prediction. How badly you did on NAL and IFL predictions. You did a real bad job. I thought we did it together, Timmy. I thought you said it was a programming meeting. We figured out. Yeah, you just picked all the answers. I didn't pick these. I didn't do it. So that's not my fault. It's not on me, okay? It's definitely on you. You definitely made some bad calls. Okay, we'll go over some game reviews at the IFL and NAL. What else we got, Timmy? Well, I don't know. Well, we're going to go over UFL fantasy draft picks, okay? Tomorrow, we are doing the UFL News Hub Writers Fantasy Draft for the 2025 UFL season. I'm going to go through who I think are the top players for the draft for the IFL. If you're playing on UFL, sorry, I said IFL. UFL Fantasy Football. They don't have IFL Fantasy Football. They can't get the stats out quick enough. I'm not going to have a lot of stats from IFL today because they didn't get the stats out quick enough, okay? So they can't have indoor fantasy football. But they can have UFL fantasy football. It's a lot of fun. Check it out, UFL News Hub. But today we're going to go through position rankings on that, who I'm going to try and pick tomorrow in our draft for that league. Sounds cool. Yeah, it does sound cool. And then we're going to talk about some NFL business, very little NFL business, and then some CFL drama. I guess that's it. So that's the plan. Here we go. All right, so first week 3 of the NAL happened this week. There were 2 games. The first one saw on Friday night the Carolina Cobras visiting the Columbus Lions. I mentioned the Columbus Lions had been in the NAL previously. They didn't do very well previously. They bounced to a lower league, the AAL, the AIL, whatever, AIF, to basically build up their program, their franchise, if you will, their pro football, I guess. And then they came back to the NAL, and I didn't know much about them. I saw them play the Peach State Cats. They destroyed the Peach State Cats, but it seemed like the Peach State Cats were not very good, okay? But it turns out maybe they are better, or the Columbus Lions are better, or the Carolina Panthers are much worse. The fun part about the indoor football leagues like the NAL is that it's really hard to get a gauge on teams until like week 3 or 4. You're changing rosters, and people are getting hurt, and you never know what you're going to get. And unfortunately, that's how the predictions look this week for the NAL and IFL. You didn't do very well. I didn't do very well. No, but hoping to do. We're going to do more film work this week. Oh boy, more film work. Boring. And we're going to do more film work this week and hopefully get some better predictions next week. So hopefully you didn't gamble on these predictions. I mentioned these are for fun, for my personal data collection and mine, and Timmy's data collection to see how our analysis is going. So far, we got some work to do. Okay, so going back to the game. Carolina Cobras visited the Columbus Lions. Technically, they're both 1-0. The NAL's counting the victory against the Peach State Cats as a league win, even though the Peach State Cats are not in the league. It gives me AF1 vibes. AF1 vibes, that's not going to be legitimate. And also, the score made me feel pretty sad. So in indoor football, there's a general understanding. If you've watched the Arena League back in the day, if you've kept up with indoor football, you expect it's kind of like basketball, but football. High scoring, shoot 'em up and down the field. Lots of points, lots of action. Should be a good time. That was not the case in this game, okay? Carolina Cobras did not bring it, okay? They did not. It's hard to go on the road to NAL because, you know, transportation's not the best and stuff. Going on a road trip, even like 6, 7 hours, which is what it takes to get from Greensboro to Columbus, Georgia, probably like maybe 11 hours, okay? That's a pretty close trip for them, and it's still a long trip. It's tough, and it showed. The Columbus Lions beat the Carolina Cobras 25-0. Oh, watching that game, the Carolina Cobras were a mess on offense, and defense did not help bail them out. They fumbled the ball. They fumbled snaps. They couldn't complete passes downfield. Now, is that because the Carolina Cobras did not play very well? It seemed like it. It's because the Columbus Lions defense is locked down. It seemed they haven't given up a single point this year. 85-0 against Peach State Cats, 25-0 Carolina Cobras. They're either the best team in the league or the national conference is really, really weak. Either way, I think Columbus Lions might win the conference. They shut up the Carolina Cobras 25-0 at their home. They go on the road this week to Carolina, so maybe it'll be different. It has to be different. If the best team in the conference is Columbus Lions and the next best team can't score a single point against Columbus in indoor football with a 50-yard field, you can't even just get lucky, throw a pass up, and complete it for a touchdown. That's ugly football. This might be why previously I did not pay attention to the NAL. This was the first year I paid attention to the NAL because I kind of felt like teams were falling out. It felt like the AF1 to me, and I didn't want to get attached to any teams because what if they don't exist next week? You know, I think they're better than that. That's why I'm covering them. But 25-0. That's a boring game to watch. NFL doesn't even come out 25-0. Bad college football doesn't come out 25-0. Carolina Cobras got to step it way up. Okay, they got to step it way up. Otherwise, they might make the playoffs. They'll probably beat Wheeling again. They may beat Shreveport. They might beat some other people. But I think Beaumont Renegades are way better than Carolina Cobras right now, based on what I've seen. What I've seen is that Beaumont's probably way better. They can knock Carolina out of the playoffs. Okay, so I was wrong on that one. I picked Carolina to win that game, and they lost. So Columbus came out, proved a lot to me. They showed they are a better team. They have a lockdown defense, or Carolina Cobras are a bad offense. Which there was some rumbles of that when they played the Wheeling Miners that maybe their offense was bad this year. It looks that way now. Okay, all right. Next, Saturday night, the Shreveport Rougarou hosted the Wheeling Miners, and we're going to learn a lot about both teams. Wheeling Miners are 0-2 coming in that game. Rougarou are 0-1. They lost at Omaha Beef. They come into Shreveport. This is a chance for the Wheeling Miners to show that they're legitimate. You know, they need to be able to beat the Shreveport Rougarou. Rougarou, first-year team. But they didn't do it. They couldn't produce enough points. Shreveport Rougarou won 20-12. They're 1-1 in the national conference. They have the same record as the Carolina Cobras. And they played the Omaha Beef. And they lost to them 50-18, but they didn't get shut out. So they might be better than Carolina. You know, Shreveport might have a chance to make the playoffs. Beaumont, I think, is better than them, but we'll see. Boom. So Shreveport Rougarou, their offense produced enough points to win the game. 20 points. They got 3 touchdowns. Quarterback 3 for 2. Running back run for 1. 20 points. That was what it is. Okay. Wheeling Miners. They came out and had a hard time producing anything. Quarterback owned the day against Carolina Cobras and played very well against Colorado Spartans, but he looked way less good. He got 2 touchdowns. Joseph Taylor did, but he didn't look good enough for them to win. They need more weapons there, okay? They came in thinking they were a pretty good team. It seems a lot like the Jacksonville Sharks and San Antonio Gunslingers going to the IFL. It was more than they expected, okay? So, I went 1-1 in the NAL. I'm going to call that a fail. I'm 6-3 though for the year in the NAL. There's 3 games next week. I'm hoping to win all 3 and get back to 9-3, which would be pretty good. Be 75% winning percentage, but win all 3 next week. We'll see if I can do that, okay? But the ruling today is fail. 1-1. Okay. All right, then we got to the IFL. The IFL, no stats are available yet. You know, that's surprising. Watch the games. Stats are not available yet. They're very slow on the stats. We'll see. Might have them out by Monday. Friday night, the Jacksonville Sharks went to the Massachusetts Pirates. I expected it to be the opposite of last year. Last year, I expected it to be a tough game. The Sharks went in, got beat by the Pirates pretty soundly, and it set them up for a really bad start to the season until they, won 3 out of 4 the last part of the season. Jacksonville Sharks came in, took care of business. They got a good quarterback in Caleb Burke. They got a good running back in Jimmy Robinson. They got a solid defense. They beat the Pirates 46-25. The Pirates have a lot of talent, but they look like they don't have an identity right now. Jimmy Robinson was their identity, and he's now a Jacksonville Shark. I did have the over-under at 71. I said, if you're betting, I don't say you should bet, but if you did bet, you should bet the under. 71, it was an 81 over-under, 81.5, and they definitely got under, so that would have been a win. So in terms of winning or losing, I won that one, and I won the over-under. Okay, I didn't bet on the game. Gambling's bad, kids. Don't gamble, okay? But it gives us a way to kind of conceptualize our analysis, okay? Next, Friday night as well, the Green Bay Blizzard visited the Quad City Steamwheelers. What I expected was that Blizzard were going to have more chemistry and continuity because they had a lot of their players coming back from last year. Quad City has a new quarterback in Daquan Neal, and Daquan Neal is traditionally successful in the league. But how'd that turn out? Turned out being a shootout. Which I semi-expected. I didn't expect the highest scoring game, but I expected to be in the high 30s, low 40s. And that's what we got. So that's pretty good. Quad City ended up pulling it out, 39-37. I had picked the Green Bay Blizzard in that one, but I did say it would be a 75 over for total points, which would be under, and they got 76. It's pretty good. So while I didn't pick the winner, I did pick the over-under pretty well. So it would be under, okay? Which is common for early start of indoor leagues for offenses to sputter. 39-37 was a good game for sputtering offenses. That's a fun game to watch. It was a fun game to watch, too. It was entertaining. I like the ones that are shootouts. That's why you watch indoor football. You watch it for the shootouts and high-scoring games. I don't know. Okay, and then the last game, Saturday night, Tulsa Oilers traveled to the San Antonio Gunslingers. I had mentioned in San Antonio last year had an amazing offense and no defense, which made for a lot of exciting games that were up and down the field. I mentioned Tulsa had a really good defense and was getting a lot of Frisco Fighters players, including TJ Edwards, who tends to run the ball a lot. So if the Gunslingers came out of the gate fast, this probably would have been a high-scoring game, and it would have been a shootout, but I think they really miss their former quarterback, Sam Castronova. I didn't know how much they miss him. You think indoor football, superstar quarterbacks. I don't want to sound like Ed Hervey, but, I think, if you're a great quarterback, you're probably playing in an outdoor game, UFL or CFL or NFL. But I think Sam Castronova was really good. He played for the Albany Firebirds this weekend, and he scored 70 points with them in the AF1. Yuck. But he probably gets paid more, I guess. That's why he went. But without Sam Castronova, the San Antonio Gunslingers looked very pedestrian on offense. The Tulsa Oilers defense ruled the day. They produced enough offense to win the game. Good road win. It's hard to get a road win. The other two, Jacksonville Sharks got a road win. It's hard to get a road win in the IFL, though, similar to the NAL. Tulsa Oilers won that game 28-20. They just ran the ball. They ran the ball, controlled the game. Their defense produced turnovers. San Antonio could not get in the flow offensively. That's a bad sign for them. I predicted them to be pretty good, but I thought their offense was going to continue to be productive. So either the Tulsa defense was really good or the San Antonio offense is really bad. Hopefully the Tulsa defense is good. All right. Next. Are we finally done with that? Yeah, we're finally done with that. Okay, so now we have the UFL. Tomorrow I'm in a fantasy draft for the UFL Writers, UFL News Hub Writers League. And last year I made the championship game, but I had quarterback issues because I went with the Brahmins quarterbacks and they kept getting hurt. I had to keep bouncing around. I ended up getting Manny Wilkins in week 10 for the championship game, and I lost because Manny Wilkins pooped the bed. Okay, got it. So with that in mind, here's my fantasy rankings. looking at the best players in the UFL if you're going to build a fantasy team. Also, probably some of the best players in the UFL anyway. So first at quarterback, I can pick one quarterback for my team. You can only have one quarterback at a time because there's only 8 starting quarterbacks. So I say the best bet at quarterback is Luis Perez from Arlington. When Bob Stoops' system, he's going to be either going to run the ball. He's going to have some RPO. He's going to have some play action downfield. He produces some stats. It's not going to be the gaudiest stats you've ever seen, but it's going to be consistent. And consistency goes a long way in fantasy football. Okay. Jordan Ta'amu, once again, he's in an offense that's based on the run game, RPOs, play action. I expect him to be productive. I don't know about his weapons. I think they'll run the ball more. They got Abram Smith back this year, so I think they'll run the ball more. So I think he'll have less good stats as Luis Perez, but he'll still be a solid quarterback. Kellen Mond. And really, I want to go with Kellen Mond, the San Antonio offense, because A.J. Smith has a great scheme. I think if Kellen Mond can take care of that, he'll do great. I will say, last year I took Chase Garbers. Great start. Got hurt. Out 5 games. Got Quentin Dormady. Wasn't very good. And it really messed my quarterbacks for the whole season. And we made the championship game, but then I lost championship game because of Manny Wilkins. I'm not a big fan of Manny Wilkins of St. Louis, okay? So I want to go Kellen Mond, but I don't know. I think I'll get burned again. Their protection doesn't look any better than last year. He might be injured pretty soon. Okay, and then number 4 is Alex McGough. Alex McGough is a 2-time USFL winning quarterback, so it'd be easy to go for him. But the Birmingham Stallions tend to, Skip Holtz tends to split time with his quarterbacks early in the season to see who's going to get the playing time. So I don't think, at least early in the season, Alex McGough had all the snaps. It'll be Matt Corral and Alex McGough. So I would not bet on him being a better fantasy football player. In NFL fantasy leagues, I would not pick quarterbacks first. I'm putting them as a priority because in my mind, there's only 3 quarterbacks that are going to play every play for their team in week 1. Luis Perez, Jordan Ta'amu, and Kellen Mond, because the Birmingham Stallions are going to split time most likely. The Michigan Panthers already said they're going to split time. St. Louis is going to split time with Max Duggan and Manny Wilkins. Houston, who knows who the quarterback's going to be? They don't even know the quarterback. Memphis, who knows who the quarterback's going to be? Probably Anthony Brown, but I wouldn't bet on him. And his surrounding cast isn't great. So I'm going to pick a quarterback first in this draft, and I'm going to go for Luis Perez. If not available, Jordan Ta'amu, Kellen Mond, and if I have to, Alex McGough. Okay, next priority is running back 1. And my runaway favorite for running back 1 is Abram Smith from D.C. He tore his knee up last year and did not get to play, but he is definitely a difference maker for the D.C. Defenders. He could make them a championship contender. Hopefully not, but could. And I think that they want to run the ball. They want to RPO. They want to play great defense. So I think Abram Smith is a runaway favorite at running back in the UFL. Jacob Sailors for St. Louis. He's good. I had him some of the year last year when I could get him, and he was good. Not great, good, average. Sound like Luis Perez. He's consistent. Consistently goes a long way in fantasy football. Matthew Colburn is second. I believe Michigan Panthers will have a great offensive line, an average quarterback at best, not great receivers. So I think their running back will eat, and that'll be Matthew Colburn the second. He'll be eating for them. And then Kirk Merritt for Houston. Houston has not looked good, but they do usually have a good running game. Kirk Merritt will probably be getting a lot of carries. So he might go to number 1, honestly. I got him at number 4 right now, just because I think Abram Smith is going to do better than him. I don't trust Houston's coach. I don't think their OC is very good. But he might be a good pick. If I need to, I'll pick him up. Running back 2, a backup running back. Okay, so I'm looking at guys who are probably going to split time. So John Lovett, last year for San Antonio, ended up leading the league in rushing. That's because of so many injuries and stuff. He led the league in rushing. So why is he in RB1? Because he's not going to play all the plays. Okay, there's 3 running backs in San Antonio. They're going to rotate those guys. Anthony McFarland Jr. is a really good running back too. So they're going to rotate those guys, keep them fresh. So I got John Lovett as a backup RB2. I think he'll be consistent. Davion Smith from Arlington. I don't know if he's going to start. He just came, he didn't go to camp. He came, got signed on. I think they're going to feature him, but I can't guarantee it. So he'd be a good RB2 for me. Anthony McFarland, similar to John Lovett. Good running back, good stats. Very similar to John Lovett with his stats. Only played half the season, was hurt. So I don't know how he's going to play. But he's going to split time, I guarantee it. So he's not my RB1, but he could be a good RB2. And then Day Hunter from Arlington. I kind of like Davion Smith. He's probably going to split some time. I don't know. I think Davion Smith's going to get the meat of the carries, but he hasn't been in camp while Day Hunter was in camp. So if I was me, I would give Day Hunter to start. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. No one knows. Okay, wide receiver 1. Going to wide receiver, that'll be my next priority in this league. Wide receivers don't tend to eat a lot because passing games tend to be out of sync for the first half of the season. Running games blow it up. That's why I'm going running back first. Quarterback, running back 2, then wide receivers because the passing games tend to be out of sync because of no official preseason games. Same reason IFL struggling, same reason NAL struggled early in the season. No preseason games to get your wheels on. Wide receiver 1, I got Jontre Kirkland from the San Antonio Brahmas. He's awesome. Big play guy. Big downfield threat. Probably the best downfield threat in the league. Hakeem Butler is an amazing receiver, but he's more of a pick up the first down guy for me, a more possession receiver. Very big. Big hands too. Tyler Vaughns for Arlington. I think he's going to be good on play action plays. I think he'll get big chunks of yards. Just a bit less than Jonte Kirkland. Justin Hall, because they want to run the ball more. Justin Hall from Houston, if they can get a quarterback rolling, I don't know who it will be. He might be pretty good. I think play action off the running back. And then David Davis in Memphis, he got cut because he's not medically cleared. But he would probably be the best receiver to have, even if he didn't play. A+. So wide receiver 1, I got Jonte Kirkland, Hakeem Butler. Wide receiver 2, similar to RB2, I'm going to go with guys who get points. Wide receivers tend to get more points than tight ends and kickers and defense. So wide receiver 2, I'm going with Ty Scott from DC. He's probably going to be their wide receiver 1. But in terms of stats, I think he's not going to get as many as Jonte Kirkland and Hakeem Butler. So he would be a great wide receiver 2 for me. Marquez Stevenson from San Antonio. He's the second guy for San Antonio. He'd be a second guy there. He would be a good pickup. Javonte Payton is the second guy for Arlington. I think he's going to get hit. He's going to be hit on checkdowns. Luis Perez likes to check it down on these play actions. If it's not open deep, he's going to check it down. He'll be a good check down guy. And then Michigan Sayosi Mariner. I don't really think he's a great receiver, but he's going to be the best they have. He's the best they have. He's kind of like Ty Scott from Michigan, which is not good for Michigan. A+. All right, at tight end. That's my next priority. Is tight end. Sal Cannella from Arlington. He's going to be a great check down guy. Like the Javonte Payton, they're going to check it down to him. Luis Perez is going to check it down. Jay Sternberg for Birmingham, they're going to check it down a lot. Matt Corral and Alex McGuire are going to hit the check down guy. Jay Sternberger should eat. L.J. Mack, the San Antonio Brahmas. A.J. Smith tends to use the tight end a lot. Briley Moore, D.C., he's going to be a check down guy. Play action team, going to be a check down guy. Probably going to get some stats. Everyone else, I probably wouldn't bet on those tight ends. Kicker. I got Rodrigo Blankenship from St. Louis being the best. He's the most talented kicker. Are they going to kick a lot of field goals? I think so because their quarterback room's a mess. So I think they'll kick a lot of field goals. That's the only way you get points from kickers in the UFL. Matt McCrane from DC. I think they'll kick a lot of field goals. I think they'll have a hard time scoring a lot. Matt McCaughlin. They have a good defense though. Matt McCaughlin for the Memphis Showboats. I think they will have a hard time scoring, so they're going to kick a lot of field goals. And I think Chris Blewett from Houston, I think they'll kick a lot of field goals. He'll have a chance just because of volume. He'll be pretty good. Okay? Boom. At flex. This is the best of the rest of the skills guys that are running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. That's who you can make as a flex. So I got Ricky Person Jr., the running back from Birmingham. He's not going to get all the reps. He's going to split time, but he'd be a good flex guy. Deion Kane from Birmingham. Probably going to be a good receiver. Probably going to be their top receiver, but probably going to split time, and they're going to spread the ball around a lot. Skip Holtz likes to move the ball around a lot. C.J. Marable, good running back for Birmingham. We're probably going to split time. And then Deneric Prince, Memphis. He's probably going to be their best running back, but I guess you got day, whatever, but I don't know. I just want to pick another Memphis guy. I felt like I was being mean to Memphis. Memphis sucks. Okay, Birmingham Stallions defense. Birmingham Stallions have the top defense. San Antonio Brahmas have number 2 defense. Michigan Panthers have the top number 3 defense. Their secondary is not good. The DC Defenders can go either way. Greg Williams likes a high, intensity defense, but gives up a lot of plays downfield because he blitzes a lot. We'll see how it goes. St. Louis Battlehawks, I think he's going to be in the bottom half of the league defensively. They have a good defensive line. The rest of it isn't great. Okay, so I think those would be the top 4 playoff teams too right now. It's Birmingham Stallions, San Antonio Brahmas, Michigan Panthers, DC Defenders, because their defenses are good. I want to be a playoff team in fantasy, so I'm going to go on one of those defenses. Hopefully the Stallions. Okay, and the NFL. Corky the Crocodile's going to talk to us real quick. First, Aaron Rodgers would still like to play for the Vikings, even though the Vikings have directly said they don't want Aaron Rodgers. He went to the Steelers. They offered him money. He didn't take it. What's the deal with that? I say, let's boycott Aaron Rodgers. Let's boycott. It's over, man. No one's going to sign you, bro. It's over. And if they do, they're going to stink. Corky, what do you have to say about that? Well, I have an Aaron Rodgers joke. Okay, let's hear an Aaron Rodgers joke. Okay. One day, Aaron Rodgers was walking down the beach, and he found the glass bottle, and he rubbed it, and a genie came out. And the genie said, I am a very powerful genie. I can grant you one wish. What wish would you like? And Aaron Rodgers said, I would like to be considered the best quarterback in the NFL. And the genie said, while I am very powerful, I cannot do that. Okay, I cannot do that. But is there another wish you would like to have? And Aaron Rodgers said, I would like to win a Super Bowl this year. Let me end my season with a Super Bowl. Is that better? And the genie said, well, no, you don't get it. You stink. You stink. Let's boycott Aaron Rodgers. Don't sign him. He's horrible. He's horrible. Calm down, Corky. We talk about Aaron Rodgers. Might try to come and find us or something. After that kind of tirade. Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers. They're still, their defensive line, Cam Hayward, has a podcast. He's become a quarterback expert. He, last week, said, Aaron Rodgers, I'm tired of talking about it. Get him out of here. Get him a quarterback. Who cares who it is? He said this week, Justin Fields is probably going to have a breakout season with the New York Jets. Now, I'm thinking, Cam Hayward, why don't you focus on playing defensive line? You haven't won a playoff game in 7 years. What? Yeah, 7 years, playoff game. Maybe you should focus on playing defensive line, not evaluating quarterbacks. Okay, New York Giants. Even though they signed Jameis Winston last week, 2 years, $8 million, they're still interested in quarterback Russell Wilson just for a lower price. They say, Russ, we can find a spot for you. You can be a part of the Jameis Winston circus. He will show you some magic tricks. Magic tricks like, I'm going to play quarterback today. I pulled my thumb off. And everyone's going to laugh and be like, are you serious? And he's like, I am serious. I pulled my thumb off. And they're like, what? That's freaky, man. Jameis Winston's going to be a circus. Russell Wilson could be there hanging out with Sierra and stuff. They'd be all hanging out. Yeah. Okay. Some other random stories I found about the NFL and some very foreign article I read. I don't know where it's from, motorcyclist or something. The Detroit Lions could strike a monumental trade deal with the Philadelphia Eagles for edge rusher Bryce Huff, who they re-signed for 3 years for $51 million. Sounds like they like him. But according to this article, Bryce Huff has not lived up to their expectations, and they want to trade him and get him off the books and mess up another team's salary cap. And Detroit Lions, past Detroit Lions habits, so that we're going to do that, even though they probably shouldn't. Okay, Las Vegas Raiders. They lost the safety and free agent Trayvon Moehrig to the Carolina Panthers. They replaced him by picking up safety Jeremy Chin from the Washington Redskins, but this random article from some distant country said that they're also going to pick up Justin Simmons from the Atlanta Falcons because they just don't know if Jeremy Chin's going to replace Trayvon Moehrig enough. And they need 2 safeties to play the same one. They can't play with 12. That's a Canadian football. Okay. Speaking of Canadian football, last thing we have from them, as I mentioned yesterday, 2 players got hurt during the combine because the combine in the CFL is not just underwear Olympics. It is for real football. Okay, so 2 players got hurt. First, from the University of Montreal, Jeremy Oho, a defensive lineman, tweaked his hamstring during a special teams drill. You never see that in an NFL combine, special teams drills. And then Western University offensive lineman Eric Anderson got a concussion in the inside drill. So there in the CFL combine, make sure it's better than the NFL combine. There was a concussion in the inside drill. That's awesome. Okay, and then Ed Hervey keeps making things worse. He keeps, he said last week there's no superstars in the CFL. He clarified what he meant to say was there's no memorable athletes like Muhammad Ali or Michael Jordan or Wayne Gretzky or Magic Johnson. He forgot to mention Warren Moon and, Warren Moon. No, Warren Moon. Okay, but he didn't mention the rest, Doug Flutie and stuff. Pinball Clemens, he didn't. The Rocket Ismail, he didn't mention those people, okay? So he's still making it worse. He says, I didn't mean there was no superstars. I just meant there was no one that I remember. Like Geno Smith. Okay, all right. Wait. You should check out my articles this week on UFL News Hub and CFL News Hub. We're just sort of knock on the window. Corky, go check it out. I'm going to go check it out. Okay. If you like the video, subscribe and like the video. And we'll be back next. Who is it, Corky? You're not going to